This tutorial was brought to you thanks to the supporters on the screen. Check out TAPgiles.com to find more Dreams resources, donate to support my work, or engage my services to get private instruction or help on a project one-on-one. In another tutorial you can find in the description, I showed how a puppet can be used to capture the position and rotation of an object as it moves. Here's an example of using this method to replay the movement of a Move controller and a physical object. So this was captured using the moves, just waving around and stuff, but this technique can be used to record the position orientation of anything, including like replaying a car route around the roads or something, but there is no way of recording that properly. So what you can do with the Move controllers is use Action Recorder, and then you take that out of the tracker. So you'd grab this and kind of wave it around and like attack with your sword or whatever, and then that will play fine. But you can't do both controllers, and my method won't let you do that either, unfortunately. But that's one way of doing it, but it's a little bit more cumbersome. This uses a big old hack. So if you're not keen on big old hacks, TAPgiles will have a puppet, and there's this other recorder called a possession recorder, and with that you possess an object or a puppet, and you can see it's leaving a trail because I'm using the left stick to move around, and it records like jumps and stuff as well. So when you play it back, it's recreating the position and orientation of the puppet perfectly. So it's like rolling around and stuff, and then it will splat down there like that, and then we're going to record that thing. So in Dreams we're quite fortunate that the physics is deterministic, where if you have something in the scene it will just play the same way basically. There are kind of caveats to that and some times when it doesn't work, but most of the time. So this will always end up in the same spot, in the same orientation, you know. I'll just colour this in a bit so we can see the orientation better. So green was pointing over there, but there's no way of recording that still. So if we went to Action Recorder, then we could grab this and move it around, but we can't like let it fall and record that position. So that won't help us. What we can do instead is we just use a tag. Let's put that tag somewhere useful like there, and we'll have over here on our puppet, we'll have a teleporter to that tag. So that's going to teleport to our tag. We'll give it a name. Give it a quick name like that. And I'll use up and down on the D-pad to cycle through the tags in the scene. We want to match target orientation as well, and we want to make it non-collidable. Like that. So it's following it perfectly like that, you see. We want to make sure this gizmo is in a particular place. So I'm going to use L1 and triangle on the puppet, which will use that puppet's grid. And then grab this gizmo and press triangle so it's on one of the dots, and then I'll put it over there so it's nice and obvious at the top of the chest. Yeah, so now what we do is we record possession on the puppet and push the left stick, which won't actually do anything, but it will get it going to start recording the position and orientation. And then we can stop. And now if we just turn this off, it will no longer be teleporting anywhere. So I'll just delete that. I'll turn off procedural stuff. So you can see it's like bouncing and stuff, just like the object was. And now if we turn that back on, we can just turn off the teleporter over here. And now it's just this possession recording that we made, making it match. And they still match perfectly. So now we invert that. So we've got this recording of how the puppet moves, and we want this to match that recording. for example, if we move that down here, at the moment this will now bounce differently, but we want to replicate that recording again. So we'll do it the other way around. We'll have a teleporter on here that also goes to that same spot, so we'll use this grid again. Make sure it's in the same position as that tag. There we go. With the same orientation as well, so we've got Z and X and Y all pointing in the same directions. So there we go. And in here we'll have a tag on that same spot as the teleporter was. So we can just put the tag anywhere, but then we want this grid again. So we grab the tag, put the gizmo in the top of the chest, and now this is teleporting to where the puppet is going to be. And we make sure it's got match orientation, and we need the target name again. So I'll just give that the same name like that. Let's turn the tag off as well. So now that is teleporting to the puppet, and it's recreating that exact kind of performance of how it bounced around. And you can move these around or whatever, and it will still recreate that exact same performance. So we can now do that on these to recreate the what was going on down here. I'll just scale it down to roughly the same size. Let's go in here and add a tag. So you can use this for any of those cases where you want the physics to kind of work perfectly every time, as if it was like just playing back a recording. You can use it for this. Use this for that. So let's make a tag and put it in the top, and have a teleporter, and that will affect the move controller. Okay, and it will follow the puppet right, and this is the hand right. Then in here we'll set that to be following the hand right and teleport to it, and we'll call that the puppet right. And just remember to only have one of the teleporters on at a time. Right, so that's moving there. So the puppet's following that, okay? So now I go to record possession, and while you see on the tip of the left imp, or the secondary imp, is a walking icon. That's because I can pull the left trigger and it will start trying to walk, and now it will record the motions, so I can like swing the sword and stuff. Thing is though, when there's a possessable puppet, then the camera wants to follow it, and if the active camera can't see it, then it will pop out of this active camera and do its own thing. So that will mess up the recording. So I'll just try that again. And to fix that, I can lock in this camera by giving it a wire going into it, or put it into a chip, and then it knows for sure I want that camera to be active. Try and move, and now it will record that, and I can like do motions and whatever. So let's turn off the teleporting. Yay, it's working. And it's kind of it thinks it's jumping and whatnot, so don't worry about that. So it's still a bit tricky because you have to like record one hand and then the other hand. You can't do them both at the same time, which would be ideal. You could do it with the headset or whatever, so it records your head moving around. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to get 5 hours of tutorials early for $3. Here's a preview of what you can learn if you choose to become a supporter.